Alright, gonna start prepping the savoury mince for our savoury mince stuffed pumpkin. Gonna finally dice up a red onion here. Don't need to go too berserk with it, but my daughter doesn't like big chunks of onion, so we'll get this diced up as fine as we can. And then we'll dice some garlic up and get all the mise en place stuff out of the road. I'll only use half an onion for this. I don't think we'll need much more, but we're just going to go through with a thin dice. I'm going to put some garlic and celery in just for the base. A lot of people will put capsicum in. I'm not a fan of green capsicum. I find it astringent. I prefer a red one, but I just don't have any at the moment, so we're just going to do a nice dice. No, I'm not a chef. I'm just a home cook. I love cooking for my family. Doesn't matter who it is, when it is, why it is. I just find myself relaxed in the kitchen doing it. So I like travelling, I like food, so it all sort of goes hand in hand. Let's take this, throw it in a bowl. Ready to go. Alright, a couple of cloves of garlic, fresh this morning, bought from the market. Give it a little crush just to get that skin off. Just knock the bottoms off and just peel these. We're just going to give these a rough chop. We don't need to mince it or go anything stupid. This is going to cook for probably 2 hours, I suppose, and then get stuffed in a pumpkin and cook again. So this is just going to tender down. You won't even notice it. There'll be no chunks. It's just, you know, giving that background flavour, building that that flavour profile. Alright, let's run our knife through it pretty rough. It's fairly chunky. Put it in our bowl.
Shake it up. Here we go. What stranger store will we be going to today? I'm nervous.
Alright, I've got one stalk of celery here. Just going to run my knife down through the middle.
Because it requires a little bit more effort on my side, I can just go to a location. I'm also worried that this place isn't going to be tasty. I guess you could
Next to each other. Just run a knife through. About the same size dice as the onion and the garlic. We want it textured, but we don't want it, you know, huge either. We want it to just sort of mellow into it, soften, and just become part of the bite. Perfect. Perhaps if I don't throw it everywhere. But, like I said, I'm just a home cook. So, little snack for me. Delicious. Perfect. We'll save this bit of onion, put it in the fridge, and I normally wouldn't, but I'm not going to use a whole one, so that'll come in handy for another day. We'll just put it there for the moment. I'm going to take a long red chilli, not a hot one, probably half. I like spice, so I'm just run our knife through it, get it nice and fine. If there's seeds in it, you can take them out. If you do the top half, you'll find that there's, you know, a couple of seeds and a tiny bit of membrane. It's not going to be the be all and end all. It's just to give a bit of background heat. Alright, take that, put it in the bowl. That I'll snack on later. Alright, and then we'll go over and we'll start frying everything and getting it ready. Right, going to start prepping, cooking the savoury mince ready for this pumpkin. So, large pan. So, I don't know, 10 inches deep, say splattering. It's good for cooking a savoury mince in, so it's one of my go-to pans. Yes, it's non-stick. Unfortunately, I like it. So, bit of good old Australian olive oil. It's delicious. You can nearly drink it, it's that good. Want a decent glug. As these veggies are frying, they're going to absorb all of that olive oil. They're going to get that flavour. All of it's going to, you know, emulsify together, and it'll just, you know, elevate the flavour. You're just sort of building on your base, and you just keep carrying that right through, and then hopefully at the end of it we're going to get this sensational dish. So we'll get this heating up now. We'll fry off our garlic, onion and celery, and a little bit of chilli, and once we've gone through that, then we'll start frying off our meat and going through the rest of it and building the actual savoury mince, and then it can sit here and simmer.
It's so soft and really, really flavorful. And you've got that slight sourness from the red.
Trusty old wooden spoon, love it. Best utensil in the world. Can't fold it. See this between the plastic spoon? Look at this. Can't use it. Good for picking stuff up and throwing it across the room. Apart from that, useless. This, best utensil in the world. I prefer wooden boards, wooden spoons, stuff like that, you know. If they're oiled properly, cleaned properly, looked after, they'll last you a lifetime. You don't have to worry about, you know, all of the rest of the issues that everyone brings to attention at the moment. It's my go-to. That, and my kitchen, it's only a small kitchen. We only live in a tiny house. We live within inside our means, and we love it. But can't have enough knives. I have a knife for everything. If it's slicing, dicing, peeling bread, cleavering, butchering, there's a knife. I've got it. It's not a problem. I love it. And second to cooking, wooden spoon. My tiny little kitchen, great fresh ingredients. Gotta have a beer, guys. Gotta have a beer. It's the Aussie way. Alright, oil's getting warm enough now. We'll take our onion, celery, garlic and a little bit of chilli, and we'll just pop it in. And we just want to fry it gently. We don't want to brown it. We just want to soften it. We just want to pull it down, get some of that moisture to extract out of it, get the sweetness to come out of it, and just heighten those flavours. Just spread it out over the bottom. Like I said, medium-high heat, let it roll. I reckon 5-10 minutes and it should be good. Keep an eye on it, don't let it catch, don't let it burn. Should be, smells amazing. 5 minutes, we're good. We've got some nice translucent onions and celery and the garlic. Nothing's brown, nothing's burnt, so we don't want that bitterness. We just want some nice base for our savoury mince. Just going to scrape it out, put it in a bowl, just put it to the side and reserve it. Take that out, move our stove on. Alright, I'll set that to the side. I'm going to crank the heat up. Give it another tiny splash of olive oil this time, not too much, because we'll find that the beef will have its own fat in it, and we want that, and we don't want it too oily. We want a reasonably clean, savoury mince. This nice and hot before we throw this in. We're going to fry this off and we're going to brown it. We're going to brown it pretty hard. We don't want to take it too far, but we do want that, you know, that colorization, that caramelization, and get that sweetness coming out of it. And we want it to be able to stand up to all the rest of the flavors when we put it all together. Clean hands, straight in with the mince, good sizzle. Wash our hands. Cleanliness next to godliness. Nothing worse. You take our wooden spoon, let's bust it up. Get this evenly spread out across the bottom. And the key is, you don't have to go berserk breaking it up. Just get it even. Leave it. Let it brown. Don't let it stew. Gotta brown. If you let it stew, it'll be stodgy and you'll lose that characteristic of that brown beef. Light up. So we've got some nice brown mince off now, and because of the olive oil that we put in it, and the mince obviously has some background fat, and it is premium mince, so it's probably an 80-20, maybe a 90-10 sort of blend. We want to make it a fairly robust savoury mince, so what we're going to do is just add a tablespoon of flour just over the top, and what we're going to do is emulsify this with the oil and just make ourselves a little base roux. And then as this cooks down over, you know, the next sort of hour or two, this is just going to thicken up and, you know, give that sort of luxurious texture to it, a better mouthfeel. What I'm doing now is just with that fat and that flour, I'm just going to cook it out. There's nothing worse than tasting uncooked flour in a roux. It's stodgy. It's not very nice. So we're just going to turn that temp down a bit now since our meat's all fried off. You can see it's all coming together. It's bound up now. There's no oil running around on the bottom. And we're just starting to get that little edge sticking, which we do want. We don't want it too bad, but we want it, you know, to lift that off to give that, you know, flavour profile in the background. Alright. Happy. Back in with our mirepoix, our onions, our celery, our garlic, and a tiny bit of chilli. Every bit of it. Don't waste it. Right. Give this a quick stir. So this will be a little bit of a different savoury mince. I have a tendency not to follow recipes very well unless I'm baking a cake or making bread. But we're going to go in with some tomato paste and diced tomato. Normally you wouldn't so much have this in a savoury mince, but I have a kind of tendency to like it. Make sure you get everything out of it. Beautiful Australian tomatoes. Got to support the locals. It's absolutely delicious. And because it has its own paste in it, we don't need to worry about adding paste. It's a bit of a convenience factor. You'll find that I have a tendency not to use a lot of canned or tin stuff. But I have been away working, so unfortunately I'm sort of stuck using some convenience objects, I suppose. So we're just going to let that sort of, I'll turn it down a little bit and then I'll turn it back up, but I'll just turn it medium high, I suppose, and just going to let that sort of just simmer there for a sec. And that is the alarm to fold my sourdough. We'll restart that, put that on pause for a minute. So next we're going to go in with the can. I was going to put some veggie stock in here, but I've used the last of my veggie stock, and unfortunately I have to go to the shop, and being a bit of a convenience, they didn't have any either. So we're going beef stock. We're bolstering flavours here. So we just want a cup and a half, 2 cups of beef stock. So I'll throw that in the recycling bin. Add a bit of pepper. I love pepper. I love a lot of it. And this will sort of mellow out, so you won't get that temperate heat of pepper. It'll just be a nice background flavour. It's getting slower. Alright. And a good hefty handful of salt. The tomatoes will suck up the salt. The beef loves the salt. And we'll put salt on the pumpkin. We'll put salt in here, and then we'll finish seasoning with salt later. And then, key, some good old-fashioned Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Where's your shister at? Good glug. This is local. It's made in Queensland. It's a beautiful Worcestershire sauce, and I actually like this one because I've got an extra hot Worcestershire sauce. We'll just give it a stir. Get everything combined. Lift all those bits off the bottom. Look at that. Can't complain about that. I will be adding more vegetables to this later. Some peas, corn and carrot. Being lazy. We're going frozen, but tell you what, it's Australian grown, snap frozen. They're as good as anything else, as good as fresh. It's going to be a good little base for a savoury mince. So I combine that, let that come up to a boil. Now, I have a little bouquet garni, parsley stalks, rosemary, and fresh bay leaf. I love fresh bay leaf, laurel. It's the nicest flavour. I don't like the dry for some reason. I find it a little bit of astringent. But this is perfect. Put it in, simmer away, pull it out. Done. Smell is amazing, guys. Amazing. So what we'll do is put that there. Let that come up to the boil pretty quick. Low. Just we'll turn it low. I can find a lid. Maybe. Maybe not. Yep. Alright. Lid on. Send it. That's all we need. Alright, after an hour in the oven, pumpkin's out. It's been resting for about 5 minutes, so we're just going to scrape a little bit of the flesh out. Not too much, just a little bit. At the same time, our savoury mince has been cooking. I've added some peas, corn and carrot to it, and you can see it's nice and thick now. It's getting that stodgy sort of winter feels about it. We're just going to add some of this pumpkin in here. We'll leave some in the skin of the pumpkin because we want to keep some body to it. Just break it up a little bit. Don't have to go too fancy. Just mix it through. And what we're going to do, once this is all mixed in, broken up, you're just going to take this and liberally, and I mean liberally, just stuff it straight back into the pumpkin. It's not going to be a huge meal, but it's certainly enough for 3 of us. It's got everything you need. Fill it right up to the lip, even a little bit more. Alright, we can turn that off. The best part about this, that's sloppy joes for tomorrow. Savoury mince sandwiches, jaffles, it's perfect. Can't go wrong. So we'll leave that off. We'll take this and good old Swiss cheese. Love it. It's got that nuttiness, it's robust, it'll stand up to all the rest of the flavours, but not overtake it. So I'm just going to take them, one piece, fold it in half. One piece, fold it in half. Last piece. Fold it in half. Right. We'll take this and stick it back in the oven. 15 minutes. Should be ready to go. And it's done. It's out of the oven. I've had it resting for about 10 minutes, so looks pretty good. Gonna give it a little cut up here and just see what we're working with. Soft as. Screw this up, but anyway. Look at that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Maybe a little side salad, some crusty bread, which is good to go. Enjoy.